Welcome to A Hare Over a Hill. I am Hare and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be covering one of my other personal EDH decks, commander decks, which is Kemba Kha Regent. Uh, Oddly enough, I usually say this is my first ever commander. My first commander was actually Devry Imperial Tactician, the precon. But this has been like the first deck that I completed like from the ground up. I've always somewhat been a white player at for much of my playtime. Like I've somewhat deviated into other colors, but I've always enjoyed white, and so I've always returned to her. So what does little Kimber do? No. At the beginning of each upkeep, for each equipment attached onto Kimber, I get a 2/2 white cat creature token. So yeah, there are two parts in the stack. One 2.5. One is a Voltron. Try to get as much equipment onto the field and throw it onto Kimber. Uh, the second part is going to sound a tad bit odd, but is is actually a somewhat go wide strategy, uh, with a lot of anthems and ways to give all my other stuff benefits from like with all the tokens I'm generating, because with most Voltron commanders, you just simply want your commander to go. The benefit of putting things on to those commanders is they increase in power. With Kimba, it's that she put the benefit of throwing all these equipments on her is just producing a lot of additional cats. So, before we get into the actual equipment, let's go over some of the what I do to actually like support some of the like go wider strategy, because that's some of the uh note full deck this is down in the description. But yeah, the some of the synergies for going wide is things like Obelisk Evolve, uh, all name a creature type, all creatures at the selected type get +2/+2. Always watching, non-token creatures get +1/+1 in vigilance. Uh, I have a number of creatures that don't mind get boosted. Um, Intangible Virtue does the same exact thing as Always Watching, but for token creatures. Uh, Honor of the Pure, all my white creatures get +1/+1, which is basically everything in this deck. Uh, Spear of Heliod, uh, all my creatures get +1/+1, and if need be, if somebody attacks me, I can potentially that damage to me. That acts as a remover spell. Um, then Elishnorn Grand Cenobite. All my creatures get +2/+2, and all of my opponent's creatures get -2/-2, allowing me to more easily alpha strike into things. And probably one of the odder selections, but honestly work sometimes, though I think I may want to replace it at some point. Regal Cal. All my cats get +1/+1, and lifelink I also get 2/1/1 cats with lifelink. The big benefit is just, oh look, on the Kimber becomes a 3/5 with lifelink, and all the tokens that I'm creating go from a 2/2 vanilla creatures to a 3/3 with lifelink, which is always nice. Um, how I also support the all this is Orderic Master Tactician, Orderic Lunar Marshal, and Anointed Possession. Uh, Possession. The Anointed acts as a mana doubler. Uh, Audric Lunar Marshall acts because with a lot of my equipment, I give out a lot of keywords during uh, each combat. I get to pretty much say, okay, any keywords that are on Audric, uh, pretty much if any of my creatures have Force Strike, Flying, Death Touch, Double Strike, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Shock, Trample, or Vigilance, all my creatures get that. So that's one of the big benefits of Aldrich is that when once one of my creatures has a keyword, all of them has a keyword, and equipments give keywords. So that's a big synergy. And because I'm doing a go wide strategy, Aldrich helps with the going wide. And I would definitely say if you're playing a impart or white go wide strategy, Aldrich Nunok Marshall could be very useful along with Aldrich Master Tactician. Uh, he can provide Force Strike, but whenever he attacks with at least 3 other creatures, uh, yeah, let me just read the text. Whenever Aldrich Master Tactician and at least 3 other creatures attack, you choose which creatures block this turn and how these creatures block. So pretty much, you get to decide who's blocking it and who's not. You can literally just like, oh, you are at a low enough health. These creatures are coming at you. None of your creatures are blocking. I'm throwing a few creatures this way over here, but I want this creature to block so it dies. And I'm gonna choose how things work in terms of blocks. And so Aldrich really does put a pressure onto your opponent. Um, then let's get into some of the equipment and equipment based stuff. Uh, well, at least some of the support for the equipment of Stoneforge Mystic, grab an equipment slash put one some into play for much cheaper than their actual cost. Stonehewed Giant can give out vigilance and can also act as a search engine for one for generic white and tapping it. You get to go digging for an equipment and put it onto the battlefield and auto attach it. Pierce Steel make all my equipment uh, free if I control at least 3, and if any equipment ETBs, draw a card. Shram, draw a card whenever I cast an equipment. That can be pretty big. Sigarda's Aid, all my equipment potentially has haste. Doesn't really come into play, but it's the free auto equip, which is nice. And a Nahiri, the Lithomancer. Um, getting just a little soldier is nice. Moving equipment onto it. Um, then -2, I get to bring out equipment for free from my hand, and the -10, if I ever can actually get to it, is put a colorless equipment artifact named Stoneforge Blade onto it, and the equipped creature gets +5/+5 and double strike with equipped cost of 0. So that's one of the bigger things with Nahiri, it's trying to get into the ultimate. For actual equipment, when granted, Icing Death, Blood Tyrant, not an equipment on initial things, but it's a 4/3 flying vigilance for 4 mana, so it's not cells angel efficient, but it's still a nice guy. If he ever dies, though, here's the big thing: I get Icing Death Frost Tongue, um, which is an equipment that gives +2/+0, and whenever the equipped creature attacks, I get to tap something, which is the big effect. So it's one of those. Okay, I have a potential blocker, or I can potentially attack with and get a fairly utility equipment. And most of these equipment, it's either I acting as utilities or acting as a piece. So the some of the big things is that I want to include all the protection swords. Currently, I have 7 of the 8 released. Can't wait until the others get released and I can get my hands on it. So yeah, sort of fire and ice, of body and mind, uh, war and peace, of light and shadows, feast and famine, sinew and steel, and of hearth and home. The big thing is mostly for the order of hearth and home. I really don't need the blink a whole lot, but it can be a useful thing. Definitely with Stoneforge Mystic, but it's mostly I want to include every all the protection swords. And like I said, most of these are either utility equipment or uh, buffing power and toughness, so I can potentially do a one-ton kill. So Fleetfoot Sandals, Flying in Haste, Lexodon Hammer +3/+0, Trample and Lifelink, Dark Steel Plate, Indestructible, Argentum Armor +6/+6, and Destroy a thing on attacks. Armory of Aeros. This might eventually just be outright replaced, but whenever I deal combat damage, +1, and the equipped creature gets a +1/+1 counter. Uh, Plate armor +3/+3, and the equipped creature gets Ward 1. The protection is nice. Protection, the Ward 1 isn't always useful, but it is like, okay, think about your sequencing because it's gonna be important. Commander's Plate, protection from. Basically, this is +3/+3 and protection from everything that isn't white. Um, so that's going to provide me with a lot of protection from removal and the like. Not perfect protection, but it is going to provide me more from what I need. Protection from all colors except white. So yeah, that's one of the bigger things. Uh, then I have Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. Greaves gives uh, haste and shroud for an equipped cost of 0, and Swiftfoot Boots hexproof and haste for an equipped cost of 2. Obviously, I would rather have Swiftfoot Boots on Kimba, mostly on the fact of I don't need to unequip, unequip, unequip my Greaves, but the Greaves are fairly useful in the early game to at least start pooping out all my tokens. Stoneforge Masterwalk. Uh, oh look, just having this guy on Kimba. Oh look, I just produced a cat that then boosts Kimba. That's the big thing. In the early game, this isn't useful, but in getting into the later game parts of the game, when I want to really like knock somebody out, it's like, oh look, I just produced 7 cats. Kimba gets +7/+7, or any of my cats can get +7/+7. Basilisk Collar plus uh, give out lifelink and death touch. Battleforge Axe +2/+0. And then whenever I deal combat damage, I create another uh, Bloodforge Battle Axe. and with the anointed possession, oh look, I create 2, and with all my reattachments, oh look, like, look, they auto-equipped onto anything after damage, but still. Battle Skull, +4/+4, Vigilance and Lifelink, and if I can't auto-equip, oh look, it comes with the Jorm, so it can pilot itself. Hammer of Nizine, +2/+0, indestructible, and it auto-equips and auto-equips any other equipment coming into the battlefield, which is nice. Vogue's Gloves, I needed draw, so I had this guy in here. And there's been a number of times of, oh god, I wish this was anything else, but other times it's like, I have no hand. I can make any profitable attack and still get to draw a card. Umezawa's Jitte, generally good equipment. Whisper Silk Cloak, guarantee no power and toughness, but becomes unblockable and gives Shroud, which with Kemba can be just like, yeah, you are dead. And it's just so I can get in a good Alpha Strike. Haunted Cloak gives Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. More keywords for Orderic, more keywords for necessary things. Godsend +3/+3, and if anything blocks or blocks my creature, or I block with the equipped creature, I get to exile something, which can be quite useful. It's another form of potential removal, or a you like if you block, I can exile that thing. Or with Aldrich, it's like I block it, I'm exiling it now. So it can act as a threat. Dousing Dagger +2/+1. Granted, yes, I had to give something to 2/0/2 defenders, but if I deal combat damage, flip into a Gilded Lotus, essentially. And I'm needing Mana Rocks, which is, I could replace it, but it's like, it's not, in the early game, it's like, it's a good equip option. In the later, it's a potential Mana Rock that can allow me to re-equip if necessary. And Kodana's Banner. This is more of a go wide, help with the go wide, in that any creature that shares a color gets +1/+1 with the equip. So if I have to equip to a legendary creature, my commander, so I'm gonna be primarily equipping it onto my commander, but anything that shares a color, white, which is all the cats that I make, gets +1/+1, and anything that shares its creature types, which is cat and cleric, gets +1/+1. Meaning, all my cats that I produce with Kodana equipped onto the Kimba gets essentially +2. On my cats get +2/+2, which is absolutely miraculous. Um, a few more equipment-based things, and obvious things I should include. Open the armory to go digging for an equipment, although I can grab an OR. I don't play any ORs. Steel Shaper's Gift to go digging for more equipment and get into the hand, and Lightning Tutor, grab any artifacts. So yeah, the rest of my deck is mostly utility stuff. Either utility removal of mana rocks, Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, and Mass Clarify, all acting as removers with Mass Clarify, destroying all non-white creatures. Depending on the matchup, that can be really beneficial for me. Then Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exile. removal, single targeted removals. I'm not sure if I actually want to include the uh, gift card, but then in terms of mana rocks, Cage Sun doubling all my planes and uh, another Anthem effect. Thrawn Dynamo, three colorless. Each one archive adds 2 colorless. Solving +2. Mana Gouge. This has to either become an Arcane Signet or a Wand Power Stone. But Scry 1, add any one color. And a Gilded Lotus, add +3 mana of any one color. So yeah, that's the mana rocks. I definitely need a few more in this deck. Um, so yeah, in terms of outside of lands, the last 3 non-lands I play is Edge Champion, protection from all everything if Metalcraft is protection from all colors if I have Metalcraft active. It's a if for some reason can't if Kimba's been destroyed enough, Edge Champion can act as another like fun little thing to equip all my stuff onto. Grimmaz to help with the more cat synergies, though I'm not sure if I actually want to include him or not. And then Elspeth, Sun's Champion, get three. How +1 is simply get 3/1/1 soldiers, white soldiers, uh, more into the token strategy and going wide strategy. Um, -3, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. This can sometimes backfire, but it can act as a good another Wrath. And -7, I get an emblem that says all my creatures get +2/+2 and has haste. Again, have it with the golden white strategy. The deck generally has. In terms of lands, most of it is fairly benign, though. I need I definitely want to update this deck at some point. If you have a few suggestions, leave them down below. But yeah, 22 planes. Yep, big fat boys. Darksteel Citadel and Ancient Den. Unlike my actual Kami deck, I'm actually going with. I actually do have some artifacts energy. I do have a few Metacrafts energy, so having these guys actually do help. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. I have a lot of white pips going on, so and again with all the equipment going on, sometimes just getting a massive amount of mana to do a fair amount of re-equipping is actually nice. Uh, Emily the Sky Rune, get back some needed creatures if I have enough basic lands. Windbreast Kites, uh, Hideaway 4, and if I control at least, uh, and I get to recast it if I attack with at least 3 creatures. Again, this is in part, a go all wide Voltron deck, so getting at least 3 attacks and get potentially a very cheap card out of it, very useful. Ideally ground, I'm not even sure why I put this in here, but uh, if I control at least 3 other planes, I get to put a +1/+1 counter on something. I should really consider taking it out. Temple of the Force God, if I control at least 3 other 5, if I control at least 5 lands, it's a potential mana ramp for me. That's the biggest thing. Rogue's Passage gives something unblockable. Again, uh, just allowing me to get in a huge poke on somebody is very important at times. And I commonly win by commander damage or just ice win, like I'm attacking you with my huge Kemba and you with all these like unnecessarily big cats. So like win by commander damage, win by alpha strike. Like so sometimes getting that free attack is nice. The rest of this is mostly mana. Although I included a bunch of fetches in here, mostly on the fact of just allowing me to get uh, thin the deck, which is more important. Uh, all four colors of the necessary fetches: Windswept Heath, Marsh Flats, Arid Mesa, Flooded Strand, then an Evolved Wilds, Tailmorphic Expanse, and a Bat Panorama. Though that eventually should become actually a Myriad's Landscape, so it thins my deck a little bit better and guarantees me some actual more basics. While thinning the deck even greater. So, yeah, that is my Kimber deck. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a reason why down in the comments. Leave a like if you liked it. Do all the YouTube stuff. As always, see you around, people.